gentlemen, guess who's back?
Whoa!
Got some hype tonight.
Holy
Dave's feeling it.
crikey, mate. Right. Welcome back. This is the Producer Lounge, right? This is our podcast, our
Yes,
show,
it is.
right? So it's about music production. We
Yes.
sit here like we're in the kitchen, right? You know, it's the same, isn't it?
Mm.
And what we do is we talk about production things, you know? Kick drums, bass sounds, grime, you know? All the shit. Yeah, all the, you know, dust under your fingernails and shit, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
We love it here.
Woo! Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, welcome back, guys. I'm not, in fact, English. 48th week. That's
What?
right, Steve. Yeah.
Oh my God! Accent reveal.
I know.
Coming to you live tonight.
I am actually Indian. Just so you know. But it's okay. It is, in fact, our 40th week. That is correct. Welcome back, everyone, to
Cancelled.
the Producer Lounge.
Canceled 40 times over.
48 times over, bro.
Hey,
Canceled
cheers.
for every word you just said.
Cheers to everyone. I hope everyone's got a beer. I want to give a shout out real quick.
Late cheer.
A fellow by the name of Angst Manatee gave us a follow and a sub pre-show.
Thanks, Manatee.
Yeah. Thanks, bro.
Wow.
Big shout
That
out
sounds like one of
to the
Austin's
homie.
friends.
No, it's one of my homies.
Oh, is it
actually.
your friend?
Yeah.
Oh.
From the stars.
Oh,
Oh,
shit, bro.
Stars.
From a
dude.
distant galaxy.
Yeah, fucking
Far,
Damn.
far away.
Subbing from a distant galaxy.
Dude, I know. He wanted
fellow,
Man.
fellow destroyer behind the
Man,
sticks.
could our podcast get any nerdier?
it. For
It
real.
could. It could. Don't forget, we have
It
the Razor
probably
Crest.
will.
I know. I
It
was just gonna
probably
say.
will.
Yeah.
The Lego Razor
No.
Crest.
I mean, we're not about to do not nerdy things, that's for sure.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Just wait till we start making some money from this. Oh, go time.
Talking to you, Bitwig. So, we'd like to
Yeah.
start the show off with a little tip of the week.
Mm.
Dave has graciously volunteered.
Yeah. Last week
Which tip?
we talked a lot about varying the things in your track, your drums.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it was time based, maybe melody based, making hi hats late, adding some shuffle, adding some randomness throughout those things.
Right. Never hits the same
Yeah,
twice.
just making sure that nothing is exactly the same ever. It's always a little bit different.
Right.
So another way we can do that is spatially.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do tell.
Yeah. So
Oh.
you know you're looking to go into another section of your track. You've got through the intro. Now you want to get to the build. Good way to make it feel a little bit different, keep the energy up, is to just kind of change what's happening spatially. So spatially, I mean left and right,
Mm-hmm.
center, back, front,
Yep.
whatever the thing is. So oftentimes it's kind of a natural move to do these sorts of things, especially with like verse to build. You're going to hit a kick drum, sub drop, obviously. And then it
Right.
and you get a little bit of a different thing coming in from like a filter or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a revolutionary idea, but it's a good way to think about it. I like to think about it like if I have a drop come in, I want to think about how do I want the spatial kind of quality of the drop to be? Do I want it to be very, very mono, or do I want it to be really wide? Or maybe I want kind of the bass elements to be very wide and providing that like fatness, and then I have a main sound that's really like down the center in your face, something like that. Or the opposite, where it's one big sound that's super big and wide, and the rest of the stuff is kind of more in the middle.
Right.
Either way is pretty fun. But
Right. You were mentioning before the pod, another way to do that is to use like a convolution reverb, which we've talked about on the show before, where you just put a random element, whatever it is. It could be perk, it could be a lead, or it could be an off an off lead, and you just put it into convolution, turn it real tight so it's like there's no a tail or anything like that.
Right. It's not really being a reverb.
No, it's just putting it in this weird EQ shape, and it
Right.
like pushes it into a certain spot in the mix. Like you can just kind of bring down the tail and then flip through the different
Impulses.
responses. Yep. And it'll just like move around all over the place.
Yeah.
And you can do that while you're listening to the whole mix to kind of get a context of where it kind of sits, where it kind of either grabs you if that's what you want it to do, or it tucks it away behind things, which is, might be what you need. But it's just a really nice little tool to like put something somewhere.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about those small little bits of ear candy that nobody's really paying attention to, but without the song and without those happening kind of in random spots, it's just not the same. And you can kind of use convolution to kind of just push it in weird spots, which is super fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's super effective.
And you can get creative with it too.
Oh, yeah, you can go nuts with that thing.
Yeah. Just think about stereo imaging, mono stereo, like you were saying. Yeah. We were talking in the garage also. A fun little idea we had was if you have drop drums and then verse drums that are separate drums, you can take your drop drums and flatten them all to one channel, and then maybe use it as like an accent in your verse or your intro, and you can like drown it a little bit, maybe make a mono or like super stereo and like way push back, just to like almost foreshadow what's happening.
Right.
Yeah,
Plus
you can play
it's-
around a lot.
It's free drums. Now you just have like an extra set of drums
Yeah.
that'll
You already
work.
made it.
Yeah, they'll work with the other drums. Obviously, they're the same thing, and you can kind of like do fun things with them, like over compress it.
Stretch them out.
Yep.
Stretch it,
Yep.
pitch it all
You know?
weird. Yeah.
Double stretch it.
At that point, like we had mentioned before, you just treat it as a break. At that point, it's just a break that will work.
And it may feel like
sometimes
cheating
it's all
to you
you
guys,
need.
but that's okay. Yeah, sometimes it's all you need. For
Sometimes like you could print that thing, throw it in a weird box, and it does all the jobs you need it to do. For that intro section, you don't even really have to mess with the drums all that much. I prefer to then put a lot of work into whatever weird kind of processing I'm doing on that.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to want to have like a filter doing something weird throughout it, like pulling it back and forward or whatever.
Right. Right. Making it interesting.
Yeah, I might even like extra EQ it to just be really strangely like missing the middle or something like that.
Yeah. So when
Which
it
is
finally comes
nice.
back, that body comes in, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Right.
When you get the
Right.
like clean, crispy
Right.
version,
Full
it's
drums,
just
it's all.
right in your face.
Yeah.
Yep. That shit is super nice.
Right.
Yeah. So spatial variation. It's one of the best.
Spatialations.
Spatialations.
Spatiated.
Spatiations.
Get some
I like the
spatiation
sound
in
of that.
there.
Spatiated,
I don't like
dude.
spatiated. I don't like it.
Spatiated is like something that happens to your butthole.
Right.
Oh,
right.
is it?
No, I
No,
don't know.
I don't know.
Oh.
That sounds like it.
Just sounds like it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh God, we just dropped that on the pod. Sucks.
Inappropriate.
Sorry, Twitch. Not really.
Well, that can
Sorry, not sorry.
segue into another little topic I had. Is like a lot of people make their reverb too loud, and I did too for a long time, because you want it to sound cool and sound big and be in a place. Like you're kind of, in my brain, I equated it to like wanting to hear my music on a system somewhere where inherently it's going to sound big and there's going to be reverb happening.
Yeah.
So you kind of like compensate for that internally by giving everything a bunch of reverb because you think it sounds better. When really it doesn't.
It sounds great
It doesn't need
by
the reverb.
itself.
Right.
When you throw reverb on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always too loud, guys. Turn the reverbs down. But there's other ways to get that reverb out of the way.
Go on.
Ways to get the reverb out of the way: EQ before the reverb or after the reverb.
And or.
Yep. Yep. So group process that thing parallel to a dry signal, put an EQ on there, and just push down and with a bell and search around for where it feels like it doesn't like linger in the weird way that you're hearing it linger. If you do that, you'll hear it like pep up. You'll be like, oh, sounds all lovely all of a sudden. Just like because there's like too much of something in like the 400 area
It's
or
like
somewhere
ringing,
down there.
It's ringing around a little too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't really need a lot of that. You also don't need a ton of the high end.
That's a huge one.
Yeah.
That's a huge one, because if you make your reverb too bright, that gives it the characteristic of it being really close.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want something with that, like a vocal, that's fine, because it sounds like it's like in your ear, or whatever.
Yeah.
But that thing that's in the background, like the hit that you have, you got to kind of tailor it in so it's just like, fucking 4K to 1000, and it's just grabbing that kind of tonal spot, because it kind of automatically is like back here now.
Right.
It's just the way our ears perceive and how the sound decays over time. If you're actually like in a space, you're not going to get a bunch of highs coming back if it's really big. It's the way it is.
I was sitting on the porch the other day, and there's a little Bluetooth speaker, and I had it sitting here facing the window. And when it was facing the window, the high end would bounce off the window and be just right in my ear. And it was wildly brighter than when I turned it around and it's facing away. Now I'm not getting double the brightness. I'm getting it's more thumpy, more low end there.
The top end is going to scatter, because it's so much higher energy. It's going to disperse throughout the room faster and kind of die off faster than that bottom end, because those waves are bigger and they can kind of withstand being bounced around more. So exactly.
Yeah, it's great. So anything you want to sound really close to you, have that high end fast and short right there. Slap delay or even
basically,
just reverb.
Or
like
an
a
ambiance
really
reverb.
quick slap delay too. Like
I'll kind of
whatever
do
it is.
something similar like that on my hi-hats. They'll usually have like their own little dedicated reverb that's not meant for spatially things. It's just meant to give them kind of pizzazz and not be just so thin and weak. You give them a little bit
stale.
of you give them a little bit of a slap back, and by that I mean like it's like 0.2 seconds long reverb. It's like super short. It's like
very,
as
very short
short as
reverb.
possible. Yeah, on like a room, even though sometimes they'll try a hall, because sometimes it's got weird upper mid tonal things that it'll do for the hi-hats. That's kind of fun. But usually, just like super short. Everything's super short. And then, obviously, like the theme of this topic right now, quiet as fuck. Because you fucking squish him down a little bit with the dry signal, and he'll start pulling up. And if you have too much in there, then you're just going to be pulling up a lot of floor. And the floor just sounds like...
Yeah. It is good to compress your reverb, though. Do a little bit of a smush on that reverb. You're going to get a lot more body out of it.
Right.
And
it's not going to run away.
I feel like I had a hard time getting my reverbs to be short enough. Like a lot of reverbs, I just could not get them to get tight enough.
Yeah.
Which you can kind of fuck with a little bit by using like a transient shaper and pulling the sustain down.
Yeah.
Like, so it just kind of dies it. It kills it quick.
But that's kind of artificial.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all right. I don't mind it. Sometimes. It just depends on
it depends
what
on
I'm looking for in it. But it's a thing to try. Throw a little transient shaper after the reverb, and only use not for transient at all. If anything, pull the transient down if you want to. But
it's
the
a tail shaper.
Yeah. Have the tail.
Yeah, I'll kind of do something similar
Die out a little quicker
with the compression. I'll see how I'll be thinking about that while I'm compressing the reverb. If it's a really long open reverb, then I'm gonna approach the compression differently than if it's short. You know, at least the back end, like the release. I'm gonna attack that differently if it's a short reverb over a long reverb.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's kind of situational. Like if I want a ride cymbal or a crash that has a big room, kind of depends. Like maybe that crash is gonna just do better to a short release or a long release. These kind of things you just have to
Try them out.
Yeah, you just gotta figure them out and sit there for hours and tweak and fiddle.
Oftentimes the answer is just going with whatever the general vibe is of the drums that you're working with.
General vibe?
General vibe?
Damn it.
It has begun.
Oh my God. If you got a bunch of short reverb on things and then you add one thing with really big reverb, could be cool. It's worth a try sometimes, but also it's going to pull you a little bit out of the mindset that this is a kit of drums.
Mm-hmm.
Right, especially
if you
when it
want
comes
it
to the
feel
drums.
like that.
Like you could
Yeah.
have the drums and some of the melodic elements all in a certain tight room, and then
Right.
one melodic element is like,
Yeah, way in the
Yeah.
back. Just
like that's different than if you have like all your drums and then your snare is just like,
Right. It's like,
Like-
wait, everything's so dry.
Yeah.
And that snare is just, that would be a funny troll though.
that would be funny as well.
Yeah.
It's almost dub, but
Right, exactly.
those dub drums are swimming in reverb anyways,
Right.
so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys use templates?
I used to a lot. These
Yeah?
days I kind of just YOLO it, just going. It's almost more fun. I do have like a side chain like pre-set up and just like a drum group with nothing in it and like a bass group with nothing in it with the side chain like triggering it. Just as like a little like cuz I'm going to use drums and bass in every track and I'm going to side chain it, so might as well just like do that shit.
Totally.
But
Yeah. It's nice to have it set up there,
Mhm.
right there for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how I have mine. I use a general template.
General template.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I guess that is mostly template, but I see dudes on YouTube and shit with like all sorts of crazy templates and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That are
Pulling
like,
Travis over here.
yeah.
Does
Or,
Travis have a pretty crazy one?
Oh yeah, he's got so many templates.
but yeah, they'll have one for like different things. Like, I'm
He's a
just gonna
template
like,
guy though.
this is
Yeah.
my sampling template, or this is my like,
I am
snare
not
making
organized
template.
enough to
Yeah,
use
like-
a bunch of different templates.
Yeah, right.
Like if anything, I have what you guys have essentially. It's a routing setup
right.
with a few groups,
Mhm.
side chains in there. And I have a separate pre-master so that I can put something else, add another group if I need to, and have it separately going to the master if I wanted to do something like that. And then,
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Pretty
sometimes
straightforward.
it's nice to keep it clean.
sometimes I will just go and do a bunch of things outside of my template before I even start dragging things in. Sometimes I won't.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like, okay, the template's there. I can use it when I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. See, this is, although I need to update this to this because this master doesn't need to be here. I used to have a separate master until I started using sends more. But basically, a drums group that has my kick and its trigger for the sidechain, a snare and its trigger if I decide to have a separate trigger for the snare, a hats group, and all of that goes to the pre-master here.
That hats group probably just gets whatever kind of percussion in it.
Kind of, and if I end up making a bunch of other
Filler
like
shit.
fills, if I have snares or fills, they'll get their own group. Like if I end up having a bunch of off snares, then this snare gets
extra
grouped,
snares.
and then they all get processed together.
Oh, you group your actual snare
With
your off snares.
the off snares, yeah. Only
Interesting.
for just a couple, like mainly the last bit of clipping. That's more of a safeguard. It's not really doing a lot. With a possible EQ in front of it. And then I'll do a little bit of parallel compression probably right there at the end, just to kind of send it into the drum group. Again, it's more of a safeguard. That compressor might not get hit until like two snares just happen to hit together really close or whatever, and it triggers on the release. But I will, if I end up having like really strong fills of like toms, I'll make a fill group within here. But yeah, anything.
And he will.
Yeah, fucking right.
Oh, he'll do it, guys.
Oh,
I'll do it.
oh, he's got all the fills. I will typically group my snare and kicks together. I don't even know that I agree with that as a move, but that's how I do it. So they clip together, and then I just pay attention when they hit at the same time to make sure it doesn't like fall off weirdly when the snare hits and the kick hits at the same time.
Right.
You know, like is the kick still hitting?
Right.
Is the snare still hitting?
That's like its own.
It's a very specific.
It's only to like 4 on the floor music. Like if you're making beats, you never really have to worry about it.
Yeah.
It's such a.
They have a little bit of a
I
advantage.
know, right?
That's the hardest.
Because that is a hard little. It's not that bad, but
it was for a while.
Yeah, it is.
Tough. So I have a music group, a vocal group, and then the pre-master. So these drums and music go into the pre goes into the master. The vocals go straight into the master. So anytime I have vocals, they just lay on top of everything.
Yep.
Which I found very effective.
Yeah.
Because you don't need your vocals super loud or super pushed or anything. You can just have them at a moderate level, and they just lay on top of the mix, because that's what they're literally doing. They're just being mixed with everything else at once.
All the other shit gets glued together in the pre-master, and then the vocals get to also then be added on top of them, so it makes them feel like a little bit different,
right, and present, and like you can still kind of push them back into the mix, but they're gonna have their own kind of way.
Yeah,
to
if you're
them.
using sends too, you can kind of push them into the mix with the sends.
Right. So within my music group, though, I have the front and the back, which, like we were talking about with spatial things, you have a quick, bright reverb for anything that you want close, and a slow, dark reverb for anything that you want in the back. You can also achieve this with certain types of compression. The subgroup I haven't been using that much, unless I'm like using like dedicated 808s and shit, and I need them in their own thing. But usually those just go in front, and then I have a separate effects thing that usually it's like risers and shit. But a lot of times this whole thing will just end up in the back group,
right?
Because I just am like, wait, these things still feel too present, and I'll put them in the back group, and automatically with the compressor I have set up on the back group, it pushes them back immediately.
Yeah, one thing I'll do when I'm like actually going to mix is the front and the back group get EQs like right out of the gate. I'll put everything into the groups, and then I'll EQ each group before I go and start individually EQing things, because you can just go, all right, it's the back group, shelves, both sides down. Now I'm just mostly mids here.
Yep.
But I mean, it's not like that crazy, but it's like 2 or 3 dB.
Yeah.
You
Doesn't
know,
need much.
on both sides, just a little bit of a and it just pushes all that stuff a little bit back. And then you can go and do your detailed EQing on the individual tracks,
Sure.
But I'll do that on the back group, front group. I don't know what I'm doing on front group.
Front group, I usually just
Probably
work
pull that
in
lows out.
that, and there's lots of high pushing. But it's basically usually like fairly generic in the front, and then like the back, it gets tailored to be pushed into the back. And then obviously again, so everything goes into pre, and then it goes into the master, and we're out to the races. What did good old Russ say here?
He said he does a similar thing.
Huh. He says, "Hey guys, that looks a lot like my default template." Hell yeah, it does.
He's so
Let's
casual.
go.
Russ gets it.
Except I have all those groups sitting in a mixed group. so I can apply effects to the whole mix. I just use the master for checking volume, etc. I also have my default reverb and delay sense saved in my tablet. Yeah, I don't have that yet. I just have this effect. I need to add some and probably have them defaulted, but I don't know where the reverb's going to sit, like song to song.
Yeah,
like,
I usually want to do my reverbs once I already have like a pretty good solid mix going,
right.
and then I'll add those. I think me and Caleb definitely make our shit pretty fucking dry.
It's pretty dry. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we
pretty
like it
nitpicky.
real dry.
I'm pretty nitpicky about that. If it's a good room the song has been being played in, it's going to sound hella great.
Yeah,
Hella great.
we like making music
That's the
for playing it in a club. So if we can make it dry, then when you're in the club, it's gonna boom.
Yeah, exactly. And to your point, Russ, your mix group is basically my pre-master, because all of these are getting sent to the pre-master. So or at least the drums and the music, and then vocal bypasses it and meets it in the master.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys doing in the pre-master and master?
The pre-master to start it's just an L2 and then a compressor.
Compressor after the L2.
Mm-hmm. Because the limiter
Right.
the limiter is going to clip things further. If you already are clipping on your way there, you're clipping your highs, and any mids you can. By the time you get to your limiter doesn't have to work as hard, but it's still going to kind of knock things down so there's less dynamics, so it can be louder.
Mm-hmm.
But then you kind of need to juice some dynamics back in.
Hmm.
That's where the compressor comes in. It kind of
Yeah.
sits there and rides it
Yeah.
and kind of juices a little bit more dynamics back in. So now you're still sitting at, -7.5 LUFS, but now it's between -7.5 and 8.5 instead of just 7, like the whole song.
Yeah.
It kind of gooses a little bit dynamics back in while maintaining that just rock solid, crispy mix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
sense.
was like a revolution
It's
for us
huge.
a little while back, where we realized like one reason to do these groups with like a front and a back is you throw a limiter on the front and the back group. So what that does is it makes it level, just flat signal now.
Mm-hmm.
You just took the dynamics out, like the microdynamics at the top of it, basically.
Right.
Whatever dB you're pushing into the limiter, I guess, is how much you're taking off of that. So if you do that on all your major groups, then you can use a compressor then to add that dynamics back in and specific to what you want it to do. So if it's the front, you want the pokey boys to be poking out more. If it's the back, you don't need much transient in that. So you can actually really just clamp down on all of that stuff. So you can have a really fast, all the way fast compressor.
Yeah.
Just
slammed. And then
taking
but
away
then you
that
can
stuff.
kind of fuck with the release to kind of juice the back and give it a little bit of depth.
A little extra.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all in super small moves.
Yeah.
All of my mix compressors for the purpose of juicing dynamics back in, they're all 2-to-1, and they're not doing anything more than 1.5 to 2 dBs worth of compression at any moment. It's all subtle as hell. But there's one on the drums, there's one on the music, there's one on the drums, there's one on the front, the back, and the effects of the music. There's one on the music, there's one in the pre, and there's one in the master. So there's 6 before it even ends in my ear. So all of those doing up to 2, that's a good amount of dynamics being kind of juiced right back into that. It's pretty huge.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And
It's revolutionary, yeah.
Pokey Boys. That's right, Russ. Accurate. Good to see you again, my brother.
Boys.
I just spent a lot of money on something really stupid, he says.
Well, tell us the stupid thing.
Well, do tell.
Hope you're doing well as well.
We are doing great, dude. We're hanging
Yeah.
out. Episode 48. We're out here
Always 400.
doing what we do. Obvi. But yeah, let us know what you spent stupid money on. I want to know. So you guys do use sends?
Mm-mm.
No?
Not a Send guy anymore. Yeah, I do want to try out the front and back thing because I hear you guys talk about it so much, and I just haven't done it for whatever reason. But it sounds so sick because that's already what I'm doing, like with tracks.
Right,
but I'm
to
just
a
doing
certain
it.
extent, yeah.
It's just
Yeah, yeah.
individually in, which is inherently messier, because all my reverbs are kind of a little different. There isn't necessarily a designated like furthest back spot and like closest like small reverb kind of thing. They're all
Right.
like just in betweens everywhere,
Sure,
which can be
sure.
cool, but I don't think it's the cleanest or like necessarily the best approach.
Right. I mean, it's an
It's a
approach,
little loose.
but yeah, you'll get a
It's almost
tighter,
like
you'll get a tighter, more concise mix when you have like a front and a back, like
Yeah.
an audible front and an audible like nothing is farther back than this thing.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But yeah, we'll have to. I could set you up with like a faux template, and you could just save it, and then you could like try making music in it and see what becomes of it.
Yeah, I don't use it while I'm making.
No, it's
it's just in
Personally.
the mixing stage.
like all mine
I
are.
only do it in the mixing.
All of mine are on while I'm making. Like they're all
really?
there. Yeah, they're all running and everything. But it's usually not until I know I'm going to continue with the song that anything gets pushed into them. Like
Right.
everything is usually starting out at a low enough volume that they're not hitting that limiter or that compressor. It's not until the loop is sounding good and I start kind of running away with it that I'm like, oh, let me do a quick little mix, and then I'll like boost the kick drum up to where I want it, and then I'll start bringing everything up, and it all starts to kind of
Right,
together.
but the sends.
Oh, sends. Wow.
We were talking about sends.
My brain went back to the compressors.
Right.
all
I'm
fucking
using
hard.
those. I'm
Yeah.
using those.
Okay, yeah. My
All
bad.
throughout. Yes,
My bad, folks.
absolutely. Well, I'm just limiting.
Yeah,
I don't hit my compressors really until later.
Yeah, they
in
don't.
the groups. Just get a limit.
I'm definitely at least not paying attention to them.
Yeah,
until
a little bit on
like
the drums.
later.
The drums will get a little more love early.
Yeah,
But
yeah, you got to have the drum sound.
The reverb thing we're talking about
Yes,
is essentially
agreed.
you create a front and a back reverb.
Mhm.
You could do 3 even if you wanted to get crazy
A
with
front,
it.
back, and a wide.
Yeah, front, back, wide, front, middle, back.
Front,
Ooh.
mid, back. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
front,
just
front,
like-
front mono back.
Have something that's really far away, something that's pretty far away, and then something that's close.
Yep.
But you treat them as such. One's a little higher end, as we were talking about. One's a little darker, also a little longer. One's even more dark,
And even
and
longer.
even longer.
Yep.
And they're quieter if it's far away, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Closer ones louder. And then with each little element, you can send that into your send and do it based on where it is in your mix. So you go, this is a front sound, I'm going to jam this into the front. And then I'm going to put it into the middle. And then I'm going to put a little bit into the back.
Oh, blend them all together a bit. Yeah.
So then your back element, you put a little bit into the front reverb and then more into the back and the whatever.
Right. So everything bleeds
Fucking
in
sick.
and out of each other.
It's so
It's the best.
dope.
I know.
the
It's just like conceptually, just
It-
thinking about it, it's like, oh,
It works.
And in my experience, I use like half the amount of reverb. Not in terms of amount of wet reverb. I'm saying the amount of reverbs throughout the track
Right.
is like halved.
yeah.
I use
'Cause
those
you
three.
can trust it's coming.
Right. Yes. That's huge. So yeah, those three are coming. And then anything else, you don't really have to use for spatialness.
Right.
You only need to use it for like robusting a sound, or maybe that one offshoot sound that you want in the very beginning of your track that's like, or whatever.
Right.
Or like for me, I'll use reverb in a bass sound when I'm designing it pretty early on, but it's super short to just kind of give the mids some more definition or whatever.
Width and
Yeah, but it's not putting the sound somewhere. It's just thickening up the middle of it,
Right.
But
Or it's like it's putting it somewhere, but it's like spatially putting it into a spot.
that, or it's like smearing it. Right. It's like smearing it through the mix a little bit. So now this
yeah.
bass sound is not only front, but it also is mid,
yeah.
and then
But
tails
it's
a
still
little bit.
short.
Right. It's still short and clean.
Meh.
Right. And but
It's
then
still
you
there,
get
but it's also meh. It's meh and it's meh.
yeah, exactly. And then when everything comes together, and all of those reverbs, like once you start adding them, you realize you don't need a lot. and everything's just starts stacking backwards. And it's the best.
Your mix will go 3D.
Yeah, it's
all of a sudden.
it's pretty great. So let's hop back to Accurate real quick with his money situation. He says, I purchased the Legacy thing on DistroKid to never have a song I created be deleted. Okay, let's go. Because I hate being locked into subscriptions for the rest of my life. $60 kind of hurt, but yeah, $60 is not bad. That's not bad for that.
It's pocket change.
Yeah, it's pocket change. I nearly spent $150 today on a plugin. Decided on the opposite of what Accurate did.
What an interesting topic we could actually discuss next.
Take $10 now. I don't want to spend $150. Plus the
Right.
$10 now gets me that plugin, but also like
A bunch of
30 other
shit,
ones that I haven't fucked with.
Right.
Did you get the Melta bundle or something?
No, Slate Digital,
Oh, okay.
because I wanted the Mo TT. The
no, that
yeah,
wasn't
I've
the
seen
right
that
one.
guy.
third-party Ableton recreation.
Yeah.
Boo Slate. No, I'm just kidding.
But it's
Fucking
been sick.
greedy fucks. No, I mean we'd rock it.
Yeah.
You could sponsor this show if you want.
Yeah, I personally have am subscribed to DistroKid for releases. We, as Always 400, have the label sub so that we can release like multiple artists and multiple like albums, songs, like all the things to everywhere. And I don't remember how that's like $20 a year or something. It's like super fucking cheap.
Yeah. I think that one was 40, but even
Maybe,
still.
but still, it's like a
or
year.
even 30.
It's
'cause
like not even that bad. It's
yeah,
not a monthly
year.
thing.
Yeah.
It's yearly, which
Right.
is legit.
Yeah.
But $60, does that get you multiple artists? Like, can you upload as a couple different projects?
It must give. Well,
It's
maybe
got-
it's just a specific.
I don't know. I didn't look into that.
Never have a song I created be deleted.
Right, that's
So
what it does. I'm assuming.
Just
Yeah.
solidify it. Oh, so it's like a one. Yeah, I don't know. I have to look that up.
Because does that mean if you just sub to DistroKid, if you unsub, do your songs get deleted?
Yeah. Or if you miss a payment. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But they have an option where you can pay that it's just permanently there.
That must be
Which-
what he's talking
Right.
about.
That's got to be what he's talking about. Yeah, it'll still be there. Like if you die.
Yeah.
Damn.
Which is probably the better move, like just in case, but they do definitely pull that cash out of you.
Sure. Someday.
But in a way, it's almost like if you are going to pay for it, it kind of gives you that headspace of like you're paying for this track to be released. So like put out something that you're actually like really confident in. Don't just
Yeah,
like
but
shit
you
out
never
some
know.
half-ass kind of thing. That's
I mean, I kind of get it, but also like when I was 2 years into production, that song I just made, that was like the best song.
yeah.
You know,
Right.
I was like, "There's no way it's getting better than this. I have to
This is
release
where I
this song.
peak."
I have to release this song." And then a month later, I'm like, "Thank God I did not release that song. Holy shit, it's
Yeah.
terrible."
Right.
And that happens literally every week.
Yeah.
Still,
Yeah.
kind of. It's not as bad. It's
Yeah.
not as bad after 8 years. 8 years, you start getting a little bit of like, nah, this is sick.
Mm-hmm.
This is sick.
Yeah, you go, this is pretty fucking good right here. And you're like, I'm going to hate this later. Fuck.
Yeah.
I wish that I could. I wish that I didn't have to hate this as much as I will later.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I really like it right now.
What up, Mad Z Music? Welcome to
shit,
the
Mad
welcome to the
Z.
patty.
Hello, good
Madzy.
sir.
Oh, do you know this fool?
Yeah, I'm in his Twitch here and there.
Oh, welcome to the party, pal.
This dude makes sick music, actually. It's very clean. It's very bouncy. It's very fun.
We like clean, bouncy, fun music.
Yeah.
You guys
True.
want another quick topic?
Yeah.
Sampling.
Wait,
Ho ho.
Wait.
what was that?
Just
Plug in.
subscription. Oh, Slate Digital.
Oh, is the plug-in the OTT one?
Mo TT. What about it? How cool
That's
it is?
what. Yeah, I want to know what it is.
It's Mo TT. It's literally
Rather than talk about sampling.
Okay.
All right, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Want to know what this fucking plug-in is?
We'll check it out. Check it out right now. What do you guys want to hear it on?
Ooh. A A break and a wub, yeah.
Yeah, my first thoughts either bass or drums
Okay.
for
Right.
sure.
We'll start with a
Break or
break.
wub.
Whoops, that's the wrong one.
Wub.
Actually, I just know where the break starts. There's no point to go searching.
Fab Filter MB on a lead. JK. I don't know what on a lead means, but I think I know what your joke is. I'm assuming it's a joke. Dude, it's funny, like that's a sample someone would love, but as a drummer I hear it. Oh, there we go.
That's better.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, right?
That other drum break was like somebody shittily playing drums. And this one is like all the sauce.
Right.
Oh.
Okay, so
Oh. Fab Filter has an OTT preset. Is that what it is? That'd be interesting.
Fab Filter OTT.
Restore your iLock cloud session. Boo.
Oh, I got it.
Restore it, dude.
Sorry, guys. This shit. I'm trying.
This is what you get. This is what you get for using fucking Slate Digital.
Slight
Yeah.
digital.
God, we need an effects board for our microphone so we can have
I know.
like a knob.
For real, right? Yeah.
File, open cloud session.
We're analog here, guys.
There
Just
you
have
go.
it do, you know.
Okay, so here's Mochichi. Let's bring the mix down so you can hear it. Slowly ramp in. There's your OTT setting, which is 1-to-1 to Ableton's OTT setting.
Cool.
You have a hip hop one, which I like better. It's a little more. It's a little darker.
You would.
I would. Okay. And then there's a Vox setting, which is also pretty nice.
Oh, interesting.
But they're just like quick settings. You can
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
like do your normal things. But the best part is, click this button. Now you have all the goodies.
Shit.
You can have a little clipper just built in for all
Oh,
three
that's
bands.
sick.
let's
You
go.
can just clip one band at a time and shit.
Clippy boys.
Softney, hardney, you got all the things. You even got the timings, just like in Ableton. It's
Right.
so let's do this like normal.
Yep.
Sounds like Ableton's.
OTT.
Turn up those timings.
Wait, now do the dry wet. With it up. Interesting.
All tightened up.
I like that it doesn't like do a volume
Right.
for
Like
you.
a makeup gain kind of
Mhm,
thing.
mhm.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
also got little timings presets, which is I think it's just I think it's just change the compression structure. Yeah, see, it doesn't tell you exactly what it's
Compression
doing,
structure.
but I think it's like the
Little bit
difference
different, yeah.
between like optical.
Optical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just changing the style. Smooth seems to be the best. But
Jesus. We are swimming in this break right now. Holy fuck.
it's cool too because you can like change the slope for the whole thing.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's just got all the things in better spots than Ableton does, for sure, in my opinion. But this is the hip hop one.
Oh, it gets all blue too.
Yeah. And here's the Vox
Oh,
one. So crispy.
Oh, demonstrating the thing we were talking about earlier in the podcast.
Weird. You gues see how the Vox has less
has-
lows and more highs?
Oh, because it's so close to you.
Close to your
Has
face.
more highs.
It's right next to your face, just like this break.
Crazy.
Wait, just like this break. There it is. So now let's throw a quick best synth in the universe real quick.
Yeah. This is the $150 plugin you were talking about, right?
Yes, that I only paid $10 a month for, and I get this.
You get doing the monthly,
yeah,
and then you just get a bunch of Slate things.
Yep, which they also have. Whatever their auto tune is, it's apparently like really fucking good. And I don't really fuck with auto tune that much, so I'm intrigued. Mainly because why not try and use that on bass? That's usually like my go-to. Like this thing that's made for a certain thing.
Don't do it on that thing.
Auto tune would
Do
be
it on
fun
anything
on
else.
Yeah.
basses.
Yeah, that are being
Actually,
smashed.
They have
with distortion.
Arturia,
The Antares.
the actual auto tune.
Arturia. Oh. Here,
Is
let's.
it its own auto tune?
Whoa,
Slate.
Slayer.
Slate.
Let's. I can't remember what it's called. Slate Digital. Our plugins. This thing looks cool.
Oh, Murda has a
Metatune.
plugin.
That's what it is. But I really want to. I really want to break it.
Yeah, might as well.
You know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, you got it.
anything that tunes things, like
Yeah,
probably gonna do cool things under
basically,
pressure.
yeah. Do like a pitch bend sound, like a bass
Right.
with like some bend in it, and then send it into that thing. Hard as fuck.
Exactly. While it's being destroyed
So
afterwards.
it's trying to like
Right.
pull it
Yeah, it
to
gets all, like,
wherever.
glitchy and, like-
Right. All whilst
That's
being
pretty good.
pressured by distortion the whole
Right,
time.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That was my my
and
go-to
then
thought.
smash.
Right.
Smash.
So
Smash or
let's
pass.
just go with a quickie.
Phase plant. Kilohertz, another
Let's grab
monthly worth spending your money on.
which
Yeah.
with the Slate Digital
Subscription.
$9 you get phase plants snap-ins. You don't get phase plant, but you get all of Kilohertz little
Slate gives
plugins.
you
Yeah,
kilohertz
yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
Weird.
I was like I alady have them.
What is the deal?
I don't know. There's some
Some little side
They
deal
got some-
going
they got
on.
some deal.
Slate's like, I don't know what else to make. Can we just have your stuff on ours too?
right.
We'll give you some cash.
So here's a little custom from your boy.
Meh.
good
No, I'm
one.
just kidding.
It's definitely meh.
No, I like it. I like it a lot.
It's supposed to be meh.
Right, because it's
Till it gets that
not
mo-TT.
processed.
Correct. That's NO. There we go. Sounds just like Ableton's, dude. It's crazy. It's sick. It's dope.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I haven't
like
had
it.
I haven't had an OTT for like a year.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun to be like, oh, I can do this again. Let's see what happens when I
Yeah.
put 3 of these on here, and kind of
You know what I like?
Screw around.
John will do this a lot. He'll put Restraint, former guest.
Shout out
Go back,
Restraint.
check out those episodes.
Nice.
He'll put a OTT on something where he's unsure of where the noise floor is and like stops and whatnot. So when he's like shaping a thing, he'll go and like throw like 3 OTTs right after it. And then you'll hear all the extra little bits right that are going as
Right.
it exits, and you can kind of go and meticulously go get rid of them
Right, kind of.
in ways
if
with
this
that.
thing-
I'm trying to think of like an example of how
Here,
he does that.
I mean, I can give you, so you can kind of hear the floor. Let me get this high out of the way. Whoa.
You got some noise on there?
No. Why is it still?
Oh,
freaking
it's
out?
stuck.
That's good. Never mind. I was just gonna put noise on it.
It's just
So that-
continually making music.
Yeah, I think it's
making
just
noise.
it's just broken.
Sick.
There it goes.
So if you just add a second group with nope.
With a note. Noise.
Noise. There. I was like, if I could find it. Weird.
And then output. Yeah.
Sorry, folks. Nothing seems to
Did it break
working.
again?
Yeah, it broke again. And it just immediately breaks.
Why is it breaking?
I don't know. But
Weird.
we'll not worry about it for now.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Maybe don't use MoTT. Maybe it breaks the computer.
It's
I don't
not.
know.
No, it's the faceplant was doing
Yeah,
it.
faceplant's just being weird.
Boo faceplant.
But that thing is sweet,
Could be Bitwig.
and that's a product of a plugin subscription.
Mm-hmm.
You know, $10 a month, not bad for
Mm-hmm.
a bunch. Because I thought about buying it, but then
I like the subscriptions.
I don't mind them, but I kind of gotta keep it like tight.
I gotta
Maybe like
want. I
3
gotta
of 'em.
really want the
Yeah.
plugins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with this, I get like 6 months or whatever at $10, and then it goes to 15, which is their normal price. So
You got a little
I'll
deal.
see what I care about it if I end up not liking it that much. It basically comes down to if I don't use it like day to day, then it just
Right.
get out of here.
Get out of here.
Right.
Especially
yeah.
if I have to use an iLock like cloud session every time I want to use it, which is similar to my
Oh.
RC20 and my Rift.
Yeah.
I have to open Splice every time I want to use them, and have it running in the background, which
Yeah.
is like whatever, but it's also like I don't want to have to run shit in the background. Like it just eats CPU and RAM, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I know. Me either. Speaking of get out of here.
Oh, is it about that time?
I think it is. You have something else to
Accurate's
say?
saying something about FabFilter OTT.
Are you just talking about FabFilter multiband? 'Cause
Yeah, he
I
is
saw
talking
that.
about MB.
Yeah.
Does it just have a?
Probably has a preset.
Yeah, I just haven't fucked
OTT
with it.
preset.
Try it.
Interesting.
See if you can find one.
I guess we could do that. Let's do it on the break though, because the faceplate doesn't want to work.
Yep.
So yeah, let's switch back to this real quick.
Oh yeah.
Bow chicka bow wow.
Always 400.
Question is, where is this multiband or OTT preset?
What is the OTT preset called?
What's it called, Accurate?
What's it called? Give us the deets.
X. No, this is a preset that I made. Full band upward.
Look, I turned it into a regular compressor.
I thought it by default.
Oh,
Had
he
to-
might have
okay.
it saved that way.
Okay, so yeah, just because if it has 3 bands like this, like we just open this up a little bit like this, and it looks normal.
Should we explain that Aqua what OTT is? You know what it is?
So OTT stands
might as well.
for over the top compression.
top.
It's supposed to be like just out of control compression, which is why, like, if we set this to 3 full bands, just like this, just normal, it's doing some compression. But it's it's compressing 6 decibels, if that. At a, what's their ratio? 4-to-1.
They
Yeah.
just auto went to 4-to-1.
Yeah,
All of them at 4.
4-to-1.
Yeah.
OTT is like that on steroids.
Yeah.
The whole point of it,
Yeah, there's your lines that you need to see there. Because you're getting downwards compression and upwards compression
Exactly.
at the same time.
exactly.
And
In
expansion,
each
even, right?
individual band. Well, upwards.
Upwards is
Upwards
expansion.
is expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So if we look at this, this is basically a similar thing to this. You have your three bands here. Here we have the threshold and the compression for our downwards normal compression. So this is just like your normal compressor. You drop the threshold down until it starts removing some of the dynamics once it hits that. The green one, in this case, is the upwards compression. So the moment it drops below this line, it will push it back up
Right.
to meet that line, and it won't let it go below. So it causes the floor to be pushed up and the ceiling to be pushed down in a very dramatic way.
Perfect. Yeah, that's how it works.
And that causes your over the top compression, and it causes it to constantly just be pushed into the zone.
And you'll oftentimes, like with the default in Ableton, that mid-range is going to be quieter and it's going to have more dynamic range. It has the upwards is way lower threshold, and the top of it's lower than the rest of the other things, but the gap between the two is much bigger. So there's more room for dynamics to happen within there.
Correct.
Whereas the high and the low, they're just like, you stay here.
Yeah, you can see here.
This volume the whole time.
Our thresholds are at -33 and -40. So there's 7 decibels of range that the bottom end and the top end have to play with, where the bottom end has about 10 decibels. And you can hear it. So if we just... Oh, I guess... Oh, here we go. If we solo... So you can hear it. It's just the whole floor is being brought up.
There's no volume change happening.
No, there's no volume changing. Where here, you got your spikes and your transients. It kind of kills your transients, but you get more girth.
That's what the space thing was. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah,
OTT's awesome.
OTT, when you look at it in Ableton, you'll notice that it's a preset of the multiband dynamics.
Right.
Because technically OTT is just a preset of multiband dynamics. It's just a multiband compressor that's been pushed like super far in expansion and compression to create that classic sound, basically, at this point.
Yeah, and it's been used the fuck out. So it's kind of overrated, but
it is kind of
overrated. It's a good little trick to use.
The best way to use it is like this.
Yeah,
a 3% mix.
You're not wrong.
You heard it here first, folks. Okay,
that is a good way to end it.
3%.
No, 4%.
Sure,
4%.
3.67.
Fucking funny.
Okay,
4 for 400.
we love you guys. Thanks again for tuning in. This was episode 48. Next week,
49.
49.
Oh my God.
Sheesh.
It's
dude.
getting old.
God's getting old, guys.
And then we have the Mega 50 Blowout Spectacular, where
Yeah.
shit gets insane. You're not going to want to miss that one.
Accurate, you're welcome for answering your questions. Thanks for being here, dude.
I'm
Thanks
trying
for
to think
hanging
of.
out.
Oh, we do have a good one on that one.
That's right.
That'll be.
Thanks for hanging out, everyone,
Little
and for
DJ
coming out,
set,
showing
maybe.
your support. Go ahead and hit that follow button so you don't miss when we're live. If you're watching on YouTube, big ups to you. Hit that sub button so you get all the
that
goodies
sub-
every time they come.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
How else are you gonna know?
always400.com
that's
has all the things on it.
that's the one right there. Look at that. Always 400.
We love
Add
you
it.
all.
Add a .com to that, and you're good to go, folks. All right, we love you,
Peace.
and we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.